we are pretty much excited actually to take you as guests in our podcast. This is our second podcast. First one we have already done with Gopal Krishna sir. I've shared you the podcast as well. We are giving a brief about our company. We are a startup based out of Bangalore, HSR layout. We are India's largest gig marketing platform, and we have more than 1 lakh gig workers with us. These are basically students who want to make money while they're studying by doing small gigs and small projects. It may be a content writing, it may be it may be a bank work, anything like that. And that's how we are going out. And we wanted you people from Quora who are good in Quora to showcase your skills, like how you came to Quora and how do you work at Quora, which will help them to improve their writing skills as well. That's the complete vision of the podcast, Divya. So basically, I'm also a big fan of you on Quora. I'm a follower of you on Quora. I do read all your answers, and I was pretty much excited when you have posted that you are shifted to Bangalore now. The की वाला पिक जो भी था मैं मैं सोचा था दिव्या भी बैंगलोर है, अच्छा है, सब लोग बैंगलोर पे. So Rajdeep is the CEO of the company. So
Hi,
when he
Divya.
started is from my student life, and now we are a team of 10 people. So that's about us, and we are pretty much excited for the podcast. Yeah, fine. So I think when talking about this, I remind one of your answers at Quora that went to a village or something, and they gave you quarters, and you have shown the condition of even the washrooms that were very pathetic. But still, you went to the villages, spoke to the people, and got the statistics up there. So like how it goes on, like you've been changing places, maybe you've been traveling into villages and all.
Yeah, actually, those were not quarters. That was supposed to be a guest house.
Okay.
So, yeah, I used to stay at a small town called Akola, which is about 200 to 50 kilometers from Nagpur. So I had a permanent accommodation there. That was also rented by me. It was a private accommodation because we don't have government quarters there as such. And I used to travel for like 25 days a month and visit different small towns or villages and all that. And that was it. I was I have lived. This is my third posting as I've worked for almost 5 years now. So it's good. I get to travel a lot. I've been to several parts of the country.
Yeah. Let's we are actually focused on more on Quora. So my first question, I think, why did you open your account on Quora, and did you suggest it randomly, or how did it happen?
Okay, so a lot of people don't know this, but I was on Quora back in 2012. No, sorry, 15, I guess. 2015, 16, around that time also I was there on Quora. I was in my final year of college, and Quora was not very popular back then. It had a very few users. I tried back then also, and I had a good following then also. Like
Correct.
for that time around, and I was a college student. I was a noob. I barely knew anything. I still wrote whatever I felt like. It was more about my college life as such. And then I was actually aspiring for the civil services. And I used to read a lot about the civil services, and I used to follow Roman Seni and all. That was like an access to civil service aspirants, and social media was just budding. So, but then I closed that account because I think it was not serving me any purpose any further. You'll still find a few answers on where has Divya Sharma gone from that time, like 2015. But then I took a long break. I came back in 2018 when I thought that I had something to offer to a lot of civil service aspirants because I got selected myself, and that's when I came back and I started writing again. And also the added factor that I was living alone for the first time in my life, and I had nothing else to do, and I wanted to write and share my stories. That's how my Quora journey started.
Yeah. When you're answering this question, I just remember once you said like, don't ask me civil services questions now. Just ask me about the SSC or
Ah,
UPSC. Please, you don't ask.
Huh.
So
I
why that?
sorry.
No, why that happened? Like if everyone asking, we're asking you about only about your UPSC journey, something like that, and you
Because
just
uh, I also wrote this particular line that I have not even cleared prelims. So I don't think I'm qualified enough to guide you into something that I've not done myself. I see a lot of people do that on the internet. They become Jani Babas just because they were into preparation mode once, and I did not want to do that. So I wanted to, restrain myself to my domain, something that I've achieved, something that I know how it works. But still, I went on to write a lot of answers about uh, the lacunas in my preparation and all the weaknesses that I had, all the failures that I faced, so that at least a few more people do not end up repeating those things.
correct.
Uh, Also, Divya, I think as we've been discussing about government exams, UPSC and civil services and all of it, like, so just wanted to ask what's your perspective on the side of like we like this is Gen Z era, millennials coming up, Gen Z coming up, like people are moving more towards non-conventional jobs rather than government jobs. So there is a like you can say the market is either declining, the government market is either declining, or people are going to like new like students, or people are going towards new kind of jobs. So do you think that there will be a conflict somewhere in future around this, because you have been writing a lot on government exam preparations? So I just thought of adding this point here.
See, the Gen Z that you're talking about is the ones that are on social media, they're writing stuff, they're doing, and they are able to express themselves. But when it comes to government exams, we are actually, catering to the tier two, tier three population,
Yeah.
the rural
uh,
area, and the people who do not come from a very strong educational or even economic background. So these people who are not very stable, they strive for stability, which government jobs provide, and they
yes.
are ready to take on options which are more volatile, like say this social media or some other upcoming fields, and they can
Yes.
think about fields like AI, intelligence, and all that because it's just out of their domain. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you that very recently, these government exams have moved. Most of the government exams now are conducted online. And I get a lot of queries from students from such tier 3 and rural areas that they do not really have an access to a proper computer system where they can practice even. So you understand that there is a part of India which we don't really get to see, but they want to come to the forefront, get stable jobs. And I don't think this market is declining anytime soon because a lot of our country still lives in the villages.
Correct. Yeah. Coming to the second question you mentioned, like you started your journey from your college, and yeah, I should mention here there was an answer from you when you were pretty much upset when someone asked you, अपने आपके फैमिली में बेटा नहीं है क्या, तीन लोग बहन है क्या, like there are only three sisters. I've seen it, and you have got to like the daughters are more better than they protect their family too as the sons do. So it just give me a brief background about your family and your education.
Yeah, see, I come from a very middle class family. My father had a confectionery shop. My mother is a homemaker, and I have an elder sister and a younger sister. My elder sister is a teacher. My younger sister, the Gen Z, she's a social media marketer, and she's a journalist by profession. So, and I pursued my graduation and my post graduation. That's like all three of us are pretty much very well settled in our careers and our lives. And this thing of being three sisters and my sister being the first graduate in my family, uh, this used to come up a lot. People used to tell this a lot to us, to our father, ki, You don't have a son who will take care of you and all. So this actually it gets to me that when I tell that we are three sisters, why do you have to ask if you don't have a brother? If I had, I would have told already. So I don't think we are still in an era when we talk about having a brother and making it so important factor. And apart from that, see, I am very proud to say that, and you might have seen in one of my Quora answers also, that we had been living in a rented accommodation for like 14, 15 years. And I just took the plunge of buying our own home in so and now that home is for my parents. I just got married about 40 days ago.
Oh, congrats. We
Uh,
Congratulations.
congrats on it, yeah.
we moved to Bangalore, me and my husband. My parents are staying there in our home. So this we as sisters or as daughters have tried to give a stable uh, source of income also, and to make our parents live a comfortable retired life. My father was also retired. He shut down medical health issue. So we are trying. My parents believe that we are no less than sons.
Yeah, so Divya, I should add this regarding your husband also, because I was not knowing it, so otherwise I could have kept in question. Even you have mentioned about your journey, how supportive you both for all these years.
Yeah.
It's I think it's not a very short story, it's a long story, but we're not going to the story part because it will take again a lot of time. But we actually wanted to know about your husband also, which who supported you for from a very long time, and you have been mentioned about him once or twice. Even you were very supportive to him when you were running.
Yeah.
So
See,
that's like,
if you've noticed that for the past 2 or 3 years, I've not written even a single answer about my personal love life because I used to write back in the day, but I've stopped writing because I don't want to attract a lot of attention to my person. But yeah, this my husband, now husband, we know each other since we were 6. We were in the same class. We grew up together. We became best friends when we were in like 7th or 8th grade. We've been together all the we've been neighbors, our families have been friends with each other, and we've practically grown up together. Like 15, 16 years, say, he has been my best friend. And such was the situation that our families forced us to get married at this point. So yeah, he's been a pillar, and we've been really close to each other. And even after our wedding, I don't feel anything is different as such. We are having a good time. We are setting up our new home, and he works for a private firm. I work for the government. He was kind enough to come down to Bangalore, leaving his home in Delhi and staying with me. He's working from home, so we are able to manage that. And it actually means a lot to me if I say that nobody actually leaves their hometown so easily, but he was readily happy to do that. So I'm glad we have that kind of understanding.
see from it's very good to know. We actually we wish all the best from Herody side also. We you have a long bonding throughout your life. So coming to the next question. So as you said, you have started first as your student following this for this UPSC. What was your first answer, and how many upvotes did you get back then, or views, if you want to share with them?
Uh, Actually, I have over 1600 answers by now,
Correct. Yeah.
and I could not really scroll down to look for my first answer. But as far in my memory, there was the answer on my mother, how she inspires me, how she is the role model in my life, and I think that answer did very well. And on this account, I'm talking about. On the previous account, that long back, this account, that answer went really well. I got, I think, some 13, 14,000 of votes on that. And being a newbie on the pay on the app, I think that was good enough.
Yeah. So coming to the next question, as you mentioned, you have wrote more than 1.6K answers. So, do you do any preparation before writing an answer, or you just whatever comes to your mind, you just write it? Or how it works, and how do you pick a question?
Not at all, actually. Most people don't know this, but I type the answer on my phone mostly. Like 99% of the times, I just randomly answer on my phone. And Quora actually has become a very important part of my life. Wherever I go, I keep thinking about the stories. Keep thinking from a perspective that I might have to write this. Like the other day, I think a day before yesterday, we went to the mall. I saw a man, a salesperson. It was like quite late. I think when 10 for quarter to 11 in the night, and the mall was about to shut. The salesperson took a mic and started playing a song on the karaoke and singing. And the other salesperson told us that he does this every day. He has a passion for singing. That's how he finds some time, like 10 minutes at the end of his working hours. So that made me thinking, okay, this can be a potential answer. I should write about this. And so things like this keep happening. But it's not that I write an answer and keep it. It stays in my head. I might click a picture also if I think that will help me to write an answer. I'll do that. Or else I just keep it in mind whenever I find a question that is relevant. I'll answer it. I don't find the question as in I don't go and search the relevant. I have a story, then I don't go and search. Someday when I'm reading, when I'm going through my feed, or if I get a lot of answer requests as well. And if I think that this story fits in, I'll plug it in. And I have like 50, 60 stories in my head at any point in time. So that's
Do you use any tools like Grammarly or any other app for the spelling corrections or something?
not really. I make a lot of blunders sometimes. It happens, and I'm pretty much okay with that. People tell me that I have a certain following and all that, but I don't care much. I just write my heart out, even if I have some errors. People correct me. There is a suggest edits kind
Correct.
on Quora. If they correct me, I happily accept them and even thank for suggesting. So that's how I am. Talk to me, that's how I am.
So, as you mentioned about the followers, you have more than 91K followers on Quora currently. Maybe the number has been increased.
I don't know. Yeah.
So, do you think are these people are just numbers, or the followers have helped you? Like,
No, actually, they mean a lot to me because for me, 91,000 people, in the largest stadium in the country, which is in the Salt Lake, Kolkata, it has a capacity of 85,000. So imagine standing in a stadium and some like more than the Salt Lake Stadium people are there. I cannot even imagine that in my wildest dreams. So these people, these 91,000 people have chosen to read my content. The content views, obviously, I've crossed some 60 million. I'm not sure. That's some figure. But these people have actually chosen to read my content on an everyday or on a regular basis. And that means a lot to me because I choose what I consume on the internet. So this every number adds up, and I don't ever take it for granted. I know I've taken a lot of long years and a lot of writing and a lot of uh, hate comments also to get to this point. I get a lot of hate. Yeah, you might know that.
yeah,
So these are not just numbers for me.
yeah. This
Also,
I'll keep it for the next question. Yeah.
yeah. Also, in addition to this, I think as you have over 90,000 followers, that's a quite pretty huge following on a platform like Quora, where like basically people are like intellectuals, not like Instagram, like people coming up, scrolling down and going down. So, have you been approached or have you done any kind of like we see a lot of paid promotions on Instagram or YouTube, people like influencers coming up and promoting brands. So have you got any opportunity to tie up with any brand, or is it like have you been approached for anything like this on Quora especially?
A lot actually. Uh, this keeps happening. I get a lot of opportunities for writing answers for some answers. I do accept a few. There was a tea brand. They just sent me some tea, some goodies, and I tried their tea. I genuinely liked it. I did not ask for money for that, but I just got free tea. So
That's a barter deal. Yeah.
I can up such things. But yeah, money wise, I don't think it is as popular as Instagram.
Yep.
Yeah, uh, those influencers are much more than Quora as such.
No, I was Rajdeep deals actually with the Instagram influencers a lot
Oh,
through the company. So I was saying to him, Quora influencers doesn't make money as Instagram people do.
I don't.
We don't. It's all about knowledge sharing and all.
Because when it comes to answers, companies, brands, like I've been approached by huge brands, like unicorns, if I say. Those are in the field of education, ed tech companies, because I write about education. So mostly edtech companies, no, they are unicorns, and even they offer like, very stingy amounts. Like if you're offering like 500 rupees for an answer that takes me about 2 hours to structure and write, because when it comes to educational answers, I make some effort. So why would I take that up? I
Right.
have a well-paying job, so mostly I don't take up payment-based uh,
Yeah. So my next question would be, we'll come back to the Quora thing. So I think you would have been lot moments of like this, like you're going on random road and it's like, hey, it's Divya, or being a flight or someone just approached you, hey, you're Divya from Quora, right? Something that moments. You can share any of them.
I've had so many, like so many. It's, especially in Delhi and in Bangalore, because I think a lot of the Quora readers come from big cities. And once I also got approached by a small, like there was a village I visited during my field survey days, and there were only about 60 families that. So it was a very small village, a very remote area in the Vidarbha region. So that guy approached me and told me that he reads my answers and he watches me on YouTube. So that meant a lot to me. That is one incident that I clearly remember, because meeting people in the metro or in the airports, that's okay. But in that remote village, it meant a lot to me. It felt as if I am actually reaching down to and making effort one day at a time.
Yeah. So you spoke about hate comments, and you'll be getting pricing comments. What was your best comment or a DM? And on the same way, what is the most irritating DMs you get or irritating comments you get? Both the best ones and the bad ones.
Best ones are generally those where my students get selected. So I get a lot of such DMs that I secured rank one in so and so exam and all that. Your effort, answers, and all that. So that means a lot to me, because I know it for a fact that getting a job in this can be a fortune changing time for an entire family, not for an individual. But so that is very encouraging. That is the reason I continue to write, I continue to post a lot of stories on the internet. So those are the best kind of DMs. I cannot pinpoint to anyone, but I get a lot of such. And worst DMs, so people, there are men who would who would stoop down to any levels. They would send pictures like very offensive, nude photographs and all that. So that is the worst thing. Whenever I get this sent a photo tag on the Quora DMs, I never open it. So that's
No, you've been open about it as well. Like, so sometimes you share free screenshots as well.
because see, I have over 1,600 pending messages on Quora right now. Okay, and the Quora, I want to say it also that the Quora message app is not very user friendly.
Yep.
You cannot scroll down and you cannot reply to every message, and there are bunches of that get delivered. So the It's not very user friendly, and that's the reason I'm not able to reply to a lot of messages. And I do get a lot of hi, hello, how are you, and it is futile for me to reply to every hi, hello.
No,
Like,
even this I will add it here because I was when I want to ask you about this Quora podcast when I was about to message. I think Divya would have got some thousand messages. Will she see my message or not? I was a bit skeptical, or should I find another way to contact her or something? I,
no,
wa- I was just thinking, but I'm glad you have replied in the next day itself.
uh, I just scroll through the main content, like you can see now. So every day, mostly every 2 days, I just see if there is something important that come up, if some brand is about to approach or anything. So I just see, and if there is a very serious question from an aspirant, I generally reply. So that's how I go about it. But yeah, technically it is impossible for me to reply to all the messages that I get, and I try to reduce my screen time. So a lot of people think that I would be on my phone all the time, and I am not. I am not that kind of a person. I have a lot of things happening in my real life. I live a lot of my life apart from social media, and that is also one reason I keep my Instagram private. I don't want a lot of attention there. So that's how it is. I try to minimize my screen time, basically.
Got it. Got it. Who are your favorite Korans apart from you?
Um, Koran's favorite, I really enjoy reading Divyansh Mundra. Uh,
Yes.
he is one example of a person who made a living out of Quora, and I really admire him for that. Apart from him, there's Abhinash sir.
Yes.
He's an IAS officer.
Yeah.
We enjoy his answers. Then Ishan Pratap Singh IAS, he used to write back in the day. He's not very regular. So yeah, some of these forums I enjoy.
Like any of these Korans are friends with you, like who invited for the function or for lunch? To
Uh, Jansh is we talk to each other on Instagram sometimes, and he comments answers. Sometimes I comment on his answers. So we are friends that way. Never really met each other. And Abhinash sir, similarly, we talk. On, uh, I have not met popular Korean.
Uh, Divya, your voice
was
is giving some issue now.
Hello, is it good?
yeah. Fine.
Yeah, it's good.
So Avinash was
Sorry.
no,
We're talking
we
about
lost
Avinash
that when you were
Yeah,
talking
from
something.
IAS.
so most popular Koreans that I took the names of, I am connected with them through social media only, and we talk sometimes, and that's about it.
Yeah, I think you have already answered this question. I was about to ask any brands have been approached you for you, so you have already answered this question. So I'm not repeating it, right? Like this question, like, do you think your Quora answers has inspired students to choose a career? Choose a career, not to clear the exam. Choose a
Uh,
career. Maybe someone said, "Ma'am, reading your answers, I have chosen SSC as a path."
Yes, I can say it for a fact because I've been told this that some people have taken up this particular job profile also because I was in that. So I get such messages. I meet people. They tell me that they have been inspired to some extent with my by my answers, and it really means a lot to me because see, had it not been for Quora, I would have been any other bureaucrat or any other person who's working for the government. It really wouldn't have made any difference. But it is just for Quora that I've been able to reach out to so many people and garner millions of views online. So that means a lot to me. Otherwise, I would have been nothing. So this inspiration part uh, motivates me further.
Yeah. Divya, you've been an educator for maybe a few videos through a company. Like, how did it happen, and are you still continuing as an educator also?
Uh, so I was this company that we're talking about. They contacted me for an interview uh, to talk about the job profile I was in, and they liked my interview. We had a good interaction. The interview also did well on YouTube. It got quite a lot of views, and so they approached me for teaching this tier 3, and even I was very interested because it was descriptive exam, and I was one of the toppers for that particular exam, so I took it up. And 1 year, the other year I was keeping busy. uh, for the next year I approached them that I am getting a lot of messages from my students from the previous batch, and Remo sir was kind enough to let me do it again. So that's how it happened.
So are you still continuing as an educator as well?
Not really, because that part of the exam has been chucked out.
Okay.
So I was teaching descriptive English, but
Uh,
now it's no longer
this
there.
is one question I wanted to ask you personally regarding the Staff Selection Commission exam, SSC exam. It is one of the I personally feel it is tougher than UPSC also, because of the syllabus it has and the tiers it possesses, and most probably there will be a lot of delays in the exam as well. Sometimes some paper gets leaked in Bihar at some other place, some of this center. So how you say, like, any person who's preparing for SSC to wait for so much delays, and how much time it happened for you to complete the complete process of the exam and get a job posting?
See, I started writing the exam in 2016. I graduated in 2015. And 16 August, September, around that time I wrote the exam. I got my joining in May 2018. So it was indeed a very long process, and a very tiring one, almost 2 years for an exam. And I was lucky enough, fortunate enough that I cleared all the stages and I ended up getting a job. Most people fail at one stage and they have to start the process all over again. So I don't say that SSC is tougher than UPSC. It is just very different, and it takes a lot of patience. And so does UPSC. UPSC is also a game of like a year. It goes for a year approximately. So uh, if I say that it's worth it, then yes, for someone who has no other option, who comes from a rural background, who comes from a background from a not so, from a tier 2, tier 3 college that won't be very well paid in the private market. Say, I know it for a fact that some BTech graduates from tier 2, tier 3 colleges, they get some 15 to 20,000 a month. And even a PN in the government gets like 25, 30,000 with a stable job. So that I think is a factor for many people to choose this line to, and it's a one-time thing. You prepare maths, English, these subjects. You are able to cater to a lot of exams, bank exams, and there are a variety of exams that one can write after preparing for a certain set of subjects, and then the venues open. So it's worth it if you prepare for once, and if that's the background that you have.
Yeah, got it. So, what would be your advice if someone is starting their journey in Quora, and what etiquette should the Quorans follow for the clear knowledge sharing on the platform?
See, Quora, I think a lot of people, they bring in, they have something to offer. They have a niche. They have uh, like, okay, so I write about government job exams and all of these things, and then when I started getting views on that, I moved to writing on life experiences, and that was also very well received. Some Korans like GD sir, he writes a lot about his experiences, about his journey as a 70 year old and such things. So you find your niche, you find what you're comfortable with, you start writing about it, and then you start experimenting with different genres, different topics, and you keep writing and be consistent. Some like Anubhav Jain, he's popular because he writes a lot. He has a lot of variety. He writes a lot about life, and I really like his answers also. So you start experimenting, you start being consistent. That is how I think Quora works, and slowly, gradually, you'll start understanding the Quora algorithm. See a few things. There are a few hacks. Like I know when. What time answer, like what time is good in a day to write an answer, because if an answer picks up well, it goes well. Sometimes the answers don't pick up well, and they lose their traction, they lose the views.
Correct.
So I know what time goes well for my answers, what are who are my followers. So that's it.
Great. So the final answer question will be like, are you satisfied about your Quora journey up to now? And what is your dream project on Quora? Do something else.
I'm actually very happy. I never expected this. I said this before, that had it not been for Quora, I would not have been here. I would have not written a book. I would have not got the opportunity to teach on YouTube and even interact with thousands of students in my life. So I'm happy. I'm glad that this happened. Quora happened to me, and for the future, I look forward to writing more and to more opportunities. And I like this field of tech. Maybe somewhere down the lane in my career, I'll start teaching again. I used to teach back uh, in my college days also. So I think teaching is my passion, and somewhere or the other, I'm pursuing it through Quora, and I want to continue that. Yeah.
So I think those are all the questions which I wanted to ask from the Quora part. And so, any other questions you have for us, we'll be happy to answer.
Not really. If you have some questions, I'm happy to answer.
Yeah, and one more thing, Divya, as you mentioned, there is a lot of barrier between, let's say, like lacuna between the rural students and the urban students. And nowadays, because Raj has been started this company, and we have provided employment to more than 1 lakh plus students all over India. But the thing is, the opportunities which a kid is there in Delhi, or we see lot of things happening in DU, but we are not having a smaller thing in Ladakh.
Hmm.
So the internet has been introduced to all over the northeast, Ladakh, and all.
Hmm.
Rajdeep was having a vision of creating a new jobs where they can be earning while they are doing it. We have been into Instagram, we have been into YouTube as well. We have been training how to make a YouTube video. We have been training like how to post something or how to connect with brands, which we do. So we actually wanted, if are you will you be interested if we can ask like, will you can you give a small workshop for the rural kids how to write on Quora and how to start your journey on Quora and how it will help their career? Will you be interested in this? This is
Uh,
a normal
yeah,
proposal. It's up to you.
I don't mind doing that.
Okay.
Uh, but see, as a matter of fact, that Quora takes a lot of time and patience, and it is not very well paying, as I said.
Yeah.
uh, there are different channels. Like you get popular through Quora, you get approached. The say I wrote my book, I am getting royalty from that, and that's like a good amount for me. But there and Divyas Mundra, for example, he made a living, he got popular, he got into screenwriting, and is having a very good lifestyle now. He's making money out of it. So there's it's not a direct route as such, but it's an indirect one.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what like we had a vision about it. So I'll mail you regarding it. What exactly the plan is. If you're interested, we would be very much happy to
Yeah,
collaborate with you.
totally his
And literally, thanks for your time. Thanks for your time. And even I was a very big, great fan of you. I was been reading your answers on Quora always. I always wanted to meet you or look at you. So that happened today. I'm very very happy. And yeah, this is very. I mean, like this is a very formal question, fun question. You can even not answer. One of my friend was asking like, who was? She's also very good in. She's also a very good follower of you in Quora. When will Divya changes her DP in Quora? It's been
Uh,
the same DP from the.
Actually,
I was the one who got shocked. Okay, someone watches DPs also on Quora because you post a lot of pictures of you. I think she's a female and she likes one of your pic in the yellow saree, and she's like a great admirer of you.
the reason that I post my pictures, I've written in one of my answers also, is that uh, and that I want to be recognized
Correct.
for who I am.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that I'm catfishing or I don't know. I'm adding. There's this term now on the internet. I'm just forgetting that I'm
Gold
adding
digger or something.
some eye catcher or something.
Oh,
This is
okay.
there's a term I'm not able to recall,
Okay.
that I'm putting things so that people open my answer. I'm not doing that. So you find pictures of me looking very bad also. Like
Yeah.
uh, I post everything because then I think I have a better connect with my readers, and the reason people stop and know me by my face is just because I
This is the
have posted a lot of my pictures. Yeah, so I think that recognition uh, everybody needs. I'll be honest. People are writing there who tells you that I'm just a writer and all that. Is fooling around. People are there for certain recognition. I'm there for that as well. And when it comes to my Quora TP, that has become like a symbol,
a logo.
and yeah, people recognize me with that, and that is why even my Instagram DP is the same,
Same.
and that picture is very old, and I used that picture on my book as well, so that people know that it's the same person.
Same person.
And
Correct.
even my publisher was not very keen on using that picture, I tell you. But when I convinced him that this is something people recognize me with, and I don't even look like that anymore, but still,
No, even it is your face is half covered in it actually with the hair.
yeah, it is covered. I had a different hairstyle. I was very young and I was very skinny also back then, and I've changed. People do change,
Correct.
so I'm not sure Quora DP when it's going to change, but I never really give a thought to it now.
No, I was like even the female followers of you are like they actually like your photos, dresses, especially saris.
Yeah,
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 the female followers actually as like how Divya gets all these saris and all.
yeah.
How she maintains it. I was like because as a male guy, like as a guy, I don't even look at it. But the female fans of you are always are obsessed with your dressing style or your dress, or they will be asking like why she keeps the pictures, why the DP has not been changed. I was like, this is pretty interesting. I should ask her once maybe.
And this is one thing that a lot of people don't know this, but I have actually gone through this. I've gone through the stats, and almost I have 50-50% male female
Correct.
ratio
Correct.
of my followers. So I'll get a lot of my female followers the same thing, saris and makeup and all that. I really enjoy this time. All this, yeah.
Yeah, I think we hope you have enjoyed the session. I think we enjoyed a lot. We
A lot.
enjoyed a lot. There was you've been frank on Quora also. You've been frank on the podcast also.
I prepared nothing. I
Yeah.
never. I went for a speech yesterday, last night, with a very well-known brand here in Bangalore, to prepare aspirants for IAS and such exams. So I spoke in front of about 100
Oh,
students, and the whole thing was live streamed also. And I
that's
went totally unprepared. It went well. I spoke for 2 hours.
okay.
So that's how I am.
Yeah.
I
So
speak like that and I write like that.
great, great. So thank you for accepting
Yeah.
the podcast request, and we will be emailing you regarding it.